What's up, guys? Welcome to Sports Center. I'm Larkin Helt. Today we're going to talk about an issue in Division I basketball where males are allowed to coach males and females, while females are for some reason confined to only coaching female sports. So, there are currently 351 Division I basketball teams in women's basketball. 138 of those are coached by men, 213 are coached by women. However, in men's Division I basketball, there are 0 current women head coaches. The first full-time assistant for a male team with a female coach was actually just hired this year. The University of Maine hired Ednisha Curry as the first full-time D1 female assistant. So that's an interesting fact. We had Tennessee State men's coach Teresa Phillips. She was an interim coach a couple years back. She's no longer in that position. Some other facts. So we've actually had some NBA players recently speak out on behalf of a female coach. Baron Davis, we'll see what he has to say a little bit later about Becky Hammon, who's been hired by the San Antonio Spurs. And we'll also see a letter written by Pau Gasol where he talks about some of the things that female coaches can bring to the game. So the way that this can relate to sociology is that typically we will set men in leadership roles even if we have a woman who could be more qualified for the job, such as Becky Hammon with all of her playing experience and her days in the WNBA. To give a little background into that, we look and see the top 25 poll from last year, the women's winner of the women's season ended. So 14 of the top 25 teams were coached by a female coach. So you see that they're outdoing the men right there. And then if you look at the all-time wins list, 9 of the top 20 all-time winners are female coaches as well, even with men coaching in women's basketball. So when you go in and look at the numbers, you see that men are really not out-coaching women after you look into that. So we're going to look over and get to talk to some Georgetown athletes now. We'll see what Jihad Gardner has to say about this issue.
All right, we're here with former men's basketball player.
I'm Jihad Gardner.
All right, we got some questions for you, Jihad. The first one is, would you rather play for a male or female coach, and why?
Male coach.
Why?
Male sport.
Oh my gosh. Male coach, male sport, okay. Would you be more scared to make a mistake with a male or a female coach?
Male coach.
Why?
Male sport. No.
You think male coaches are more aggressive?
Yeah, more aggressive. Expectations are higher.
Okay.
You know?
All right, next.
Maybe more into it, that's all.
All right, you're right. Next question is, why do you think it's okay for men to coach men, whereas women are looked down upon if they coach men?
Because it's a man's sport. That's really why. Because it's a man's sport, if women try to do anything, they never gonna get the same recognition as men.
You're right. All right. And did you hear about the Becky Hammon being added to the coaching staff for the Spurs?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I think that was good for the NBA because it adds to their adversity and things like that.
You're right.
It's good for a lot of women to be inspired to coach and to shoot for their dreams.
All right. Well, thank you.
You all see that Jihad really didn't seem to have a reason that he didn't want a female head coach. All he had to say was male sport. So not necessarily a ton of background knowledge that allows him to make that decision. But we'll go ahead and see what some other players had to say.
All right, we're here with Lydia Graves. She's a senior women's basketball player. Lydia, would you rather play for a male or a female coach?
I think I'd rather play for a female coach.
Why?
Well, just because I've always played for female coaches, and I think they can relate to you more.
All right. Would you be more scared to make a mistake under a male coach or a female coach?
Personally, I'm not really scared to make mistakes.
Okay, I like the confidence.
But probably under a male coach, just because I feel like they'd be more aggressive with you.
You're right. Why do you think it's okay for men to coach men and men to coach women, but women are usually confined to women and not men?
I think male athletes wouldn't give like a woman coach the respect. Like she just wouldn't get the respect from them. I think that would be the issue there.
Okay. And then, did you hear about Becky Hammon being hired on for the Spurs?
Actually, I did. I saw that on Twitter.
All right.
Pretty cool.
How do you feel about that? You think it's pretty cool?
Pretty cool. Don't know how long it'll last, but good for her, you know?
All right. Oh my God, Troy! Troy, I heard you scored 30 last night, bro. Let me interview you real quick, right here,
Okay.
get up against the wall.
Why are you pushing me?
All right. I got some questions for you. We got senior, I don't know what position you play, from the men's basketball team, Troy Stewart. All right, Troy, would you rather play for a man or a woman?
I don't know. I've never played for a woman.
But if you had the choice,
I don't know. I guess a man.
why?
I've always been coached by men.
So you just feel like you like relate more to men.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. If you were to play for a female, do you think you'd be more intimidated by her or by a male?
It depends how she presents herself.
Okay, meaning.
I've seen soft men and I've seen tough women. So
All right. And have you heard about Becky Hammond getting hired on for the Spurs?
no, I haven't.
All right. Well, she's the first female to be an assistant coach in the NBA. What do you think about that?
That's great. She's a great player, and she'll bring great things to the Spurs organization.
All right. Thank you, Troy. All right. We're here with men's basketball player.
Jacob Conway.
All right, Jacob, I got some questions for you. Would you rather play for a male or female coach? Why?
Male,
Why?
because I feel like I would relate better to him.
Why?
Because I feel like he would enforce like things that we're supposed to be doing on and off the court more.
Better than a female?
Yes.
All right. Would you be more scared to make a mistake playing for a male or a female coach?
What was the question?
Would you be more scared to make a mistake with a female or male coach?
I don't think it would matter what gender they are.
All right. Would you think it's okay for men to coach men? All right. Why do you think it's okay for men to coach men, whereas if women coach men, it's looked down upon?
Because I feel like depending on what type of guy you are, they may not value the woman's opinion as much.
Okay. All right, we're here with senior post player Martina Lytle from the women's basketball team. Martina, would you rather play for a male or a female coach?
I've experienced that I like playing for men more usually.
Okay, why so?
I feel like a lot of times there's less of a power struggle between female players and their female coaches.
All right. Would you be more scared to make a mistake under a male coach or a female coach?
I'd say it's about equal on that one because they usually both lose their minds.
Why do you think it's okay for men to coach men? Why do you think it's okay for men to coach men and men to coach women, but it's only okay for women to coach women and not men? It's looked down upon if they coach men.
I think it's not a bad thing by any means, but people just don't respect women as much as men in a lot of cases, so they wouldn't take what they were saying as seriously and stuff like that.
All right. And did you hear about Becky Hammond being hired on to coach for the Spurs?
Yeah, that's a nice little power move for females.
Good. So that's how you feel about it? Any
Yeah.
other thoughts?
Go Spurs.
Thank you.
So we're going to take a quick look here at what we think would happen if someone was coached by a male versus coached by a female.
Where's your chain, pretty boy? Come here, coach.
Let me get your elbow in.
All right, so in conclusion, after talking to all the athletes, our group came to the decision that the reason that females are more accepting of playing for either male or female is that they've been exposed to that in their lives. So they've been coached by a male, they've been coached by a female coming up throughout their careers, whereas men are stuck on the idea that they have to be coached by a male simply because that's all they've ever known. So exposure is the main reason for this phenomenon.
Would you ever play for a woman?
Play for a woman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Just so I can see how she coaches and how it would be.
Alright. So if Briggs got replaced with a woman tomorrow, you'd be alright with it?
Yeah.
You're lying.
But why I gotta lie about it?
Alright, we're here with senior women's basketball player Lydia Graves. Yeah, she'll pull up on a kid. Alright, Lydia. Would you rather play for a female or male coach?
I think I'd rather play for a female coach.
Why?
I think just because they can relate to us more. You know, we're obviously females, so I just feel like you're on that same level, so. Fucking start over.